Welcome in to our In the Money podcast for Summit of Speed Day at Gulfstream Park. Tom Leach, along with Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, Jim Goodman. We're going to take a look at the three graded stakes on that card at Gulfstream. And the first one, the 11th, starts the late pick 4. And then the previous race is an ungraded stakes, the Azalea, and that actually starts a pick 5. But for this podcast, we're going to start in the 11th, Jim, with a grade 3 carryback for 3-year-olds going 7 furlongs. And we got nice-sized fields in these races. Who did you land on in the carryback?
Yeah, it looks like the racing secretary just said, you're going to enter Saturday. You're going to, because you do the PPs, it's like 42 pages. So they got a lot of entries. The carryback, I went one of two ways here. I was thinking about singling 3 rules. 3 rules is definitely the class of the race. 5 for 8 at Gulfstream, won 5 in a row last year, and winning the Breeders' Cup was a legitimate shot. They thought the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and just didn't run very well. Maybe didn't like the track at Santa Anita. Came back to this with the swale and opened up the season this year really well. Only got beat by 3/4 of a length, but hasn't run well since then. Trying the Fountain of Youth, the Florida Derby, and then a $200,000 stakes race at Pimlico last time out. I'm a little bit afraid of singling 3 rules here because I've got some other horses that are young and improving and lightly raced. So I think 3 rules is going to be a favorite here, and I would take him on top in tries and exactas. But I'm also going to use a couple of horses below him in tries. Mocash, the 4 for Ron Spatz and Robbie Alvarado, is 3 for 4 lifetime and had a nice tune-up for this. Lost to Coyote, who's running another stakes race today. And I think he's got a real shot, only 4 lifetime starts with a lot of upside. Blind Ambition, the 6, Sweet on the Ladies, the 5, and the 11 horse, Benefactor, for Pletcher and Castellano. This horse has a lot of upside as well. Those lightly raced 3-year-olds, you got to look at them really improving this time of year. So in the pick 4, I'm going to use 4 or 5 in here, with my top pick being 3 rules, but having a real shot with these other horses as well.
I am scared of the 2 Pletchers, Blind Ambition and Benefactor, but I am going to single 3 rules in the pick 4, just on the class edge, and the fact that he's won 5 races and they've all been at Gulfstream Park, so he loves this track, and I think he's going to be best as a sprinter. They tried to make him into a Derby horse, and he just could not handle the longer distances, so I think he's back on the right track now, and well, literally and figuratively. And I'm going to key in on 3 rules. Going to use him in exactas with those 2 Pletchers, the 6 and 11, plus Mocash, the 4, and Sweet on the Ladies, the 5. So 3 being the key horse in exactas with those others. And then I'm going to single 3 rules in the carryback to start the pick 4, which continues on to the 12th race, the Grade 2 Princess Rooney. 7 furlongs again here, fillies and mares 3 and up. Nice group of horses here. I couldn't find a clear standout. I ended up going to Dearest. I started on Curlin's Approval, but ended up on Dearest. The trainers, 38% off this kind of short layoff. She hadn't been out since March, but 3 bullet works, and I don't see a ton of speed in here. And she's not a need-the-lead type, but from the 3-hole and with those 3 bullet works, I think she can get to the front and be the controlling speed. She won 4 times on this track, 2 times at 7 furlongs, and I think there will be a little bit of value here on Dearest. So I'm going with that one. Only 8 lifetime starts and a 4-year-old. I think she can still have some upside left. I'm going to key her in exactas with Curlin's Approval, the 7, Kinsley Kisses, the 11, Lightstream, the 8, Distenta, the 4 is worth considering, as well as Concealed Kisses, the 10. But you can kind of go as deep as you can afford in here. But I'm going to key in for this race on Dearest, number 3. How about you?
When I first looked at this race, I thought Curlin's Approval was going to be a standout here, and then I went and looked at her last 2 races, and I got off her. She really didn't have any excuses in the Matron at Churchill, and she was 4 to 5 in there, and really just didn't run a step. You go back to her last year's form, and early this year, she won 2 in a row at Gulfstream. She's 5 for 8 at Gulfstream, same record as 3 Rules has at Gulfstream. So you want to say, well, maybe she just didn't like Churchill, but she didn't run very well in the inside information at Gulfstream in March against 3 of these horses, including Dearest. So Although I'm going to use her in the pick 4, I got off her, and I went to Lightstream, a horse that you mentioned for Brian Lynch. Castellano rides her back. She's in the 3rd race of her cycle, which is usually the best race for a horse. And she ran in the Humana Distaff at Churchill, called a sloppy track. She was 8-1. She was out wide on the track and really didn't do anything. Came back in the Bed of Roses at Belmont in 7 furlongs and only got beat 3/4 by the Moon, a really nice filly. So her buyer progressive. She's went 85-92. If she takes another step forward, I think she's a really good bet in here. Like her on top, I'm going to use Curlin's approval in the pick 4 just in case I'm totally wrong on her. Dearest is my 3rd choice, and I really like all the things you said about her are correct. I think she's got a lot of positional speed. She could get the lead here, and she could take them a long way. And then I'm also going to use Wheatfield, the 5-horse. Nick Zito, this horse was really good last year and or in the spring and hadn't come back in the summer, but ran behind Lightstream last out. I'm going to give her another chance at a nice price. So Wheatfield would be somebody I would use as well in here. But the choice would be Lightstream on top. So I'd go 8 with 3, 4, 7, and he tries and exactus.
13th race is the Grade 3 Smile Sprint Stakes for 3-year-olds and up at 6 furlongs. Initially, I was leaning to Awesome Banner off that big race last time at Pimlico, but I ended up going to the 2 Imperial Hint. This one, he looks like he's in top form. 3 consecutive 100 or better buyers. 3 Bullet Works, and Castellano rides. That kind of sealed it for me. So I'm going to take the 2 Imperial Hint, but in the pick 4, I also want Awesome Banner. And then I'm going to throw in Delta Bluesman as well in case he'd get back to that level he was at last summer. If you can go deeper, maybe Quixote. But if you wanted to tighten it up, you could leave out Delta Bluesman and just use Imperial Hint and Awesome Banner. But Imperial Hint is the win pick for me in the Smile Sprint. How do you see it?
I totally agree. If those numbers are legitimate, and came at Parks and Laurel, so you don't know how to compare those, but 2 100s and 105. Nobody else has run three triple digits in here, so I think Imperial Hint is going to be the legitimate favorite. I also would use Awesome Banner in the pick 4 because that last race is a 99 buyer behind Whitmore and AP Indian at Pimlico. That's not a bad couple of horses to lose to. He's also run behind Sharp Azteca, so he's faced better competition than Imperial Hint for sure. I would use those 2 probably equally in pick 4s and pick 3s, and I would use them on top in any exacta and trifecta wheels. I think Quixote might be a horse you'd watch in here. Look and see if Mo Cash does run well in the carryback, and if he runs well, that flatters Quixote. A lot of times you'll see these horses that ran against each other, and if one of them runs well early in the card, that might indicate that Quixote is for real, or if Mo Cash doesn't run very well, that the opposite is true, obviously. So, but I think it's a 2-3 in the pick 4, Imperial Hint and Awesome Banner.
Now let's go to the 14th race. Not a stake, but it does wrap up the late pick 4. Who did you land on in 14?
Yeah, you look at these buyer figures. It's a claiming 10,000 non-winners of 3 lifetime, and you can make a case for a whole bunch of them. The problem here, it's a 7.5 furlong sprint, and to me, the best horses are drawn outside. The 3 best horses, to me, are the 11, 12, and 13. The 13 is also eligible. If he gets in, I'm going to give him a real shot. I think he's the best of those 3, dropping out of a $16,000 claimer down to 10,000 non-winners of 3 lifetime. He would be my top pick if he gets in. If he gets the other horses that I would like in here that I would use in the pick 4, the 11 horse Aradeos, 2 for 2 distance, needs the lead though from the outside, and Weeza Gone Gray, the 12, is pretty much the same way. Needs the lead and stuck at the 12 hole. So I went inside, and I thought the best horse drawn well was Big Money Machine, the 6 for Edgar Zayas, and didn't run well in a $10,000 claimer last out. Kind of made a mid-race move and flattened out. Hard for me to say mid-race. But the horse has been favored last 2 times out and comes back at the same level with a non-winners 3 lifetime. So I'm going to give the 6 a shot as well. So that's the horses I'll use in the pick 4. The horse I would pick to win would be Vegas, even though he's breaking from the 13 hole. But it seems like all the best horses are outside of here.
I just took them all in here. I'm going to single 3 rules in my pick 4. So I'm going to use one horse in the carry back. I'm going to use 4 in the Princess Rooney, Dearest, Curlin's Approval, Lightstream, and Kinsley Kisses. 2 horses in the Smile Sprint, Imperial Hint, and Awesome Banner, and then use them all. So with 12 horses, I think that's a $96 ticket for $1. So for 50 cents, you could get off at under $50 on the pick 4. So that's what I'm going to do on the pick 4 for Smile for Summit Speed Day at Gulfstream Park. What's about your pick 4 ticket, Jim?
Well, my pick 4 is a little bit different. If I don't single 3 rules in the 11th, I'm going to go 5 deep. So I'm going to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, which is 3 rules, Mo Cash, Sweet on the Ladies, Blind Ambition, and Benefactor. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 with 3, 4, 7, 8. That's Dearest, Distante, Curlin's Approval, and Lightstream. And then 2, 3 in the third leg with Imperial Hint and Awesome Banner. Back to 6, 11, 13, Aradarius. And my 11 horse was Aradarius was the 11. The 13 is Vegas, and the 6 is Big Money Machine. So I'll go 6, 11, 13. So it's 5 by 4 by 2 by 3 for $60.
It's one of the races we want to take a look at here on the podcast. It's a Grade 1. It's at Monmouth Park, the United Nations, for 3-year-olds and up, going 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf course. Who did you land on in the United Nations?
I think Beach Patrol at Monmouth is the controlling speed if he gets off to a lead inside. And I think Giroux will take him to the lead. Oscar Nominated is the other horse that I like, but there's a tactical advantage for Beach Patrol. The only question that I have is the mile and 3/8. He hasn't been that far yet. But the horse has got a lot of back class. He's raced against the best of his generation, and I think the inside post position helps him here. I could make a case for Oscar Nominated. He needs to get off to a better start. He seems to give up too much, and I'm afraid Beach Patrol could, with that inside post position, control the race, and Oscar Nominated come up a little short. Bigger Picture would be my third choice in here for Mike Maker. Last time out, lost it in the post, but I thought ran a really nice race in the Elkhorn. Maybe didn't like the yielding racetrack, or more a firm turf course at Gulfstream, and could show up with a big effort. So I can make a case for Bigger Picture. Beach Patrol would be my favorite. I would use Bigger Picture and Oscar Nominated under in the exactas and tries.
I ended up on Beach Patrol. 6 of the last 7 races he's competed in have been Grade 1s, and so last edge I'm going to him. But the tendency to come up short too often makes me a little uncomfortable. But I think safe to key him in exactas, and I'm going to use him with the 2 trainers who each have 2 horses that are exceptional at these marathon races, and that's Mike Maker and Graham Motion. So that's 3 Bigger Picture, 8 Oscar Nominated, 7 Can't Help Believing, and 5 Messy. And just key Beach Patrol and exactas with those 4. And one of those gets up, the price is going to be a lot bigger than it's going to be, I think, on Beach Patrol. Best of luck with your wagers on the Saturday Summit of Speed card or in the UN. And you've also got the Mother Goose, a Grade 2 up at Belmont. Sunday is Queen's Plate Day at Woodbine. That's always a fun card. And then, Jim, there's racing for the holidays Monday and Tuesday, right?
Yeah, with 4th of July falling on Tuesday, it makes it a long racing weekend, so that Monday and Tuesday are usually the weakest days for simulcast or for Keeneland Select selections on our webpage. But on Monday and Tuesday, Belmont runs both days. Gulfstream runs on Tuesday, and Ellis Park opens on Saturday and runs 4 straight days. So Churchill Downs closes down on Friday night for the term, and then Ellis Park becomes a live racetrack for a couple months, and so they run the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So we've got a full racing slate at Red Mile on Monday and Tuesday, or obviously Keeneland Select for your wagering enjoyment on those days.
One other note on the Gulfstream Summit of Speed Day card, there is a mandatory pick 6 for Gulfstream. Mandatory pick 6 payout, I should say. And this has been the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.